After discussing the compounds of oxygen, the properties of the compounds of oxygen, now we'll discuss about the second most important member of group 16, that is sulfur. First, we'll discuss about allotropes of sulfur. First, we'll learn what is the meaning of allotropes. This word we have learnt in class 10th also. What are allotropes? These are the different forms of the same element having similar chemical properties but different physical properties. We all are familiar with the allotropes of carbon: diamond, graphite, fullerene. Now physically you can see diamond, graphite and fullerene are very different from each other, but all are made up of carbon only. Okay, and their chemical properties are also same. So these are allotropes. Sulfur exists in two important allotropic forms. The first form is rhombic sulfur and the second form is monoclinic sulfur. Rhombic sulfur is also known as alpha sulfur and monoclinic sulfur is also known as beta sulfur. So first we'll discuss about rhombic sulfur. It is stable at room temperature. So what we see in our lab is rhombic sulfur only. It is yellow in color and it is crystalline in nature. Yellow colored crystals are there. It is insoluble in water because sulfur is non-polar, but it is soluble in carbon disulfide. Now, what about beta sulfur? Beta sulfur is prepared from rhombic sulfur by heating at 369 Kelvin. So when we heat the rhombic sulfur at a temperature of 369 Kelvin, what will happen? The rhombic sulfur will melt. Okay, now we'll allow it to cool till a crust is formed, and then we'll make two holes in the crust, and afterwards we will see that colorless needle shaped crystals appear. So these colorless needle shaped crystals are of monoclinic sulfur. So alpha sulfur and beta sulfur, they are changeable. Above 369 Kelvin, alpha sulfur changes to beta sulfur, and when the temperature is below 369 Kelvin, beta sulfur can be changed to alpha sulfur. So this 369 Kelvin temperature is known as transition temperature. So these are the properties of two allotropes of sulfur. Both rhombic and monoclinic sulfur have acid structure. Now acid is the molecular formula for sulfur. So there are 8 sulfur atoms and this structure is, you can see it is crown shaped structure, and this is given a particular name. It is known as puckered ring structure. Now this is the normal form of sulfur, but recently several modifications of sulfur have been synthesized containing 6 to 20 carbon atoms. Okay, so in laboratory several modifications we have synthesized. One common form is S6. Okay, this is the synthetic form, this we have synthesized. Now it exists in chair form. So this is chair like structure, and when the temperature is approximately 1000 Kelvin, S2 exists. So at elevated temperature sulfur is more stable in S2 form, and this S2 is vapor form and it is paramagnetic like O2. And we have learnt about the paramagnetic nature of O2 because of two unpaired electrons in antibonding pi orbital. So this was all about the allotropic forms of sulfur. Now let's discuss about the compounds of sulfur. The first compound is sulfur dioxide. It is a gas. Now how it is prepared? A very common method is by burning of sulfur. Okay, so when we burn sulfur in the excess of air or oxygen, we get sulfur dioxide gas. Industrially, it is prepared on large scale by combustion of sulfide ore. So this is iron sulfide. Okay, it is burnt, we get iron oxide plus sulfur dioxide gas, and in laboratory this we do by adding dilute H2SO4 to a sulfide salt. So whatever salt is containing sulfide ion, that is treated with dilute H2SO4. So as a result of this, sulfur dioxide gas is evolved. Now let's discuss the properties. It is a colorless gas with pungent smell. It is highly soluble in water. It liquefies at 2 atmospheric pressure, means it is highly liquefiable gas. So if we increase the pressure to 2 atmospheres, it will be liquefied. It is acidic in nature. And how to know whether the gas is acidic or not? Dissolve that gas in water. So when it is dissolved in water, it changes to sulfurous acid. Okay, now we are not familiar with this word H2SO3 sulfurous acid, but this is unstable acid, and as soon as it is formed, it decomposes back, but still sulfur dioxide dissolves in water to form this acid. Now this reaction also confirms the acidic nature of sulfur dioxide, because when sulfur dioxide is passed through NaOH solution, we get sodium sulfite, and if excess sulfur dioxide is passed, we get sodium bisulfite. So since it is reacting with base and forming a salt, what is the nature of sulfur dioxide? It is acidic in nature. Now sulfur dioxide also reacts with chlorine to form SO2Cl2, that is sulfuryl chloride. It also combines with oxygen in the presence of V2O5 as a catalyst to form a very important gas, that is sulfur trioxide. This sulfur trioxide is used for preparing sulfuric acid. Now the next property is very important. When moist means in the presence of water, it behaves as a strong reducing agent. Means itself is oxidized and it reduces others. So these two reactions are very important. For example, Fe3 plus is reduced to Fe2 plus. Now here you can see sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfate ion, and the next is MnO4 minus, okay, is reduced to Mn2 plus, and sulfur dioxide is oxidized to SO42 minus. Now how to find whether it is reduction or not? Because reduction means decrease in oxidation state. So whenever oxidation number decreases, this is reduction. So here you can see the oxidation state of iron is 3 plus, and here it is 2 plus. So the oxidation number is decreasing, it is reduction. Now here the oxidation state of Mn is 2 plus, and here if you find out, now how to find out MnO4 minus, this we have learned last year, X minus 8, because charge on one oxygen is minus 2. It is equal to minus 1, so X equal to plus 7. So here manganese is plus 7, so plus 7 to plus 2. Again decrease in oxidation number or reduction is there. So sulfur dioxide is a powerful reducing agent. It reduces the compounds. Now next is the structure. Sulfur dioxide has an angular structure. You can see resonance is there because lone pair and multiple bonds are there, so the position of double bond can change. So it is the resonance hybrid of the two canonical structure. So this is the structure of sulfur dioxide. Now what are the uses? It is used in the refining of petrol and sugar. Okay. Second is in bleaching of wool and silk. Means sulfur dioxide can also be used as a bleaching agent. So what happens when sulfur dioxide is dissolved in water? We get H2SO4 plus 2H. Okay. Now the nascent hydrogen released here. Okay, so these are the nascent hydrogen atoms. So the nascent hydrogen which is released here, this can be used for bleaching of organic compounds. And the next use is, and one important thing, the bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is not permanent, it is temporary. Now we have learnt about the bleaching action of ozone also. That was due to nascent oxygen. That is permanent bleaching. But here what happens, as soon as you dip that organic substance into the aqueous solution of sulfur dioxide, it will be colorless. But as soon as you take it out from the solution, again it will be colored. So here the bleaching action is temporary because it is due to nascent hydrogen. Third use is, it is used as a disinfectant, preservative, and liquid sulfur dioxide can also be used as a solvent. So this was all about the first compound of sulfur, that is sulfur dioxide. The next is oxoacids of sulfur. Now what are oxoacids? What is the difference between when I say acid and oxoacid? Acids are those substances which give H plus ions in aqueous solution. Oxoacids are also the same. They also give H plus ions. But in oxoacids, the H plus ions are attached to oxygen atom. Okay, the hydrogen will be attached to oxygen. So the ionizable hydrogen is attached to oxygen. They are known as oxoacids. Okay. For example, we will not say HCl as oxoacid. HCl is not oxoacid. It is simple acid. But H2SO4, HNO3, these are oxoacids. So sulfur forms variety of oxoacids. But here we are discussing the structures of only 4 oxoacids. The first is sulfurous acid, that is H2SO3. It is unstable at room temperature. Okay. And this is the structure. You can see sulfur has one lone pair. two OH are there and double bond oxygen. Since there are two ionizable hydrogen atoms, okay, since two ionizable hydrogen atoms are there, so what is the basicity? The basicity of sulfurous acid is 2. And what is the meaning of basicity? Number of H plus ions given by an acid. Okay, there can be monobasic, they can be dibasic, tribasic, like this. So sulfurous acid is dibasic. Now here also it is dibasic. This is our sulfuric acid. Okay, now this is peroxo disulfuric acid. Now this is the dimeric form. So here you can see. Now it is also dibasic. Two ionizable hydrogen atoms are there and there is peroxide linkage. Okay, and this is pyrosulfuric acid, that is H2S2O7. It is also known as oleum, and it is the starting material for the preparation of sulfuric acid, and it is also dibasic. So these are the structures of oxo acids of sulfur. Now the next very important compound of sulfur is sulfuric acid. Okay, we have seen this compound in our lab also, and we have used this in salt analysis and other reactions also. Sulfuric acid is known as king of chemicals because it is widely used in industries. Okay, it is widely used in laboratory work, research work, and etc. How to prepare sulfuric acid? It is prepared by contact process. Now, contact process involves three main steps. The first step is burning of sulfur. So sulfur is burned to produce sulfur dioxide. Either you can burn sulfur or you can burn any ore of iron. For example, FeS2, any ore containing sulfur you can burn to produce sulfur dioxide gas. This sulfur dioxide combines with oxygen in the presence of a catalyst, vanadium pentaoxide, to form SO3 gas. Okay, and since this reaction is reversible, this reaction is exothermic. So here we have to apply Le-Chatelier principle. So this reaction is favored by low temperature and high pressure. Okay, so low temperature and high pressure will favor the formation of SO3. Now this SO3 is dissolved in sulfuric acid. This is already prepared sulfuric acid to form the oleum first. Okay, so oleum is the starting material for the preparation of sulfuric acid. So oleum is first prepared, and this oleum is now diluted with water to form the sulfuric acid of required strength. And the sulfuric acid which we are getting here is 96 to 98% pure. Now, there is another way for preparing sulfuric acid, that is when sulfur trioxide is dissolved in water, it also changes to sulfuric acid. Okay, so one question comes in our mind that why we are first preparing oleum, then we are diluting it with water to form the sulfuric acid. Why we are not preparing H2SO4 directly? By SO3 we are getting in the second step. So this SO3 directly we can dissolve in water to form sulfuric acid. But this reaction will not use for preparing sulfuric acid on large scale. The reason is this reaction is highly exothermic. And what happens? So much heat is released that whatever sulfuric acid is obtained, that vaporizes. And vapors are formed of sulfuric acid. Acid vapors are formed. And it becomes inconvenient for the workers who are working there to work under such conditions. So indirect method we use. First we prepare oleum and then we dilute it with water. Now properties. It is colorless, dense, oily liquid. Okay, and why it is dense? Because it also shows intermolecular H bonding. It dissolves in water with the evolution of large quantity of heat. Okay, so care must be taken while preparing the sulfuric acid solution. That is while preparing dilute sulfuric acid from concentrated sulfuric acid. Slowly water is added with constant stirring, and it is strongly acidic in nature. So when sulfuric acid is dissolved in water, first it changes to H3O plus, means first it will lose first H plus ion and HSO4 minus. Here the dissociation constant is greater than 10, and when it is again dissolved in water, it gives the second H plus ion. So it will give another H3O plus, that is H plus ion, and SO4 2 minus. The dissociation constant for this is 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 2. Now the dissociation constant for the first dissociation is very large, that is more than 10. So it means that sulfuric acid is largely dissociated into H plus ion. So this dissociation constant value is showing the strong acidic nature of sulfuric acid.